Hey everybody, welcome to this exciting episode of Google Plus Business Spotlight, where we talk about how real businesses are using Google Plus. Today we have a panel of, we actually just have a really exciting show today planned for you. I don't want to take up too much time for the pleasantries in the morning or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this, but really want to give a shout out to everybody who's been tweeting about the show, everybody who has been just sharing and getting the word out about Circloscope, which is our fantastic, like probably one of the best tools out there for circle management. They just got a complete overhaul, relaunched like today. We're getting the first look at how to use this tool for circle management on Google Plus. And you know, I have with me today Dustin Stout, who is responsible for the branding and a lot of the identity and things like that for Circloscope, and then Craig Fifield and Christine DeGraff, who are the co-founders. And pretty much at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the three of you guys. Talk to us a little bit about how this entire thing has evolved for you, and then we'll get into how the tool's used.
Well, first, let's just say that it's, I believe, not only the best circle management tool, it might be the only one as well. So, at least for now, I think we are the only one. Is that right, Craig?
Yeah, I think so.
But thank you for having us. And I guess I'll start because I kind of was one of the first involved with this. Eshin developed the tool back in 2012, and did a great job with it. People really, were using it to a lot of more active circle people were using it to keep their circles active and engaged. And he asked for feedback one day, so I just gave him some feedback and told him, the things I was having a problem with. And I also suggested that his price was way too low and that he needed to raise it. So he doubled his price and he doubled his sales, the number, at a double price. And so he was like, wow, Christine, I want your help. You need to help me. So I ended up coming on board, and that was back in November. And he got started on a redesign, and I knew that we needed a whole new, brand identity. So I, went to Dustin, and I got him on board, and he has done just an absolutely wonderful job. We're very happy with him. And then right around that time, I just started realizing that this was a much bigger project than I could handle with just myself and Esham, and that we really needed someone with some experience. And I was friends with Craig and found out that he used to be the former product manager for Microsoft, and I decided, to ask Esham and if I could bring him on board. We brought Craig on board, and things have gone into fast track as far as taking us from what I would consider, a product that probably would have done okay, we would have made some sales, to something that I think is completely professional and is going to really help people clean up their circles.
Awesome.
That's to you, Craig.
Thanks.
I'm crediting myself with being smart enough to know that we needed some help, and that Craig was the man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I certainly didn't do it all. It was, a good team and a decent product right out of the gate. So it was awesome to join the team and be where we're at now.
This is great. So we have you know what? Let me do a quick little screen share while we're at it. Just want to give you guys a new. This is the new look of Circloscoping. If for those of you who have never seen the old one, let's just say it's a vast improvement. The UI is just friggin' gorgeous.
Complete overhaul, definitely.
Yeah, complete overhaul. So if you guys want, now I have my page set up here, my G Plus Spotlight page, and what's really cool is that you can attach a different, it's a certain number of pages that you manage in addition to your profile to your account, and I think you guys have some tiers based on that, some pricing tiers. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. We did decide that we wanted everyone to be able to use it to identify, who's not following them, who's inactive, and to be able to clean up their circles. So we do have a free version. The only difference between the free and the premium is in the premium version you can add and remove people in bulk, and you can manage up to 3 pages. And then the Pro version allows you to manage up to 15 pages.
Cool. Is there a now? How does the license work? Is it a one-time thing or a monthly thing?
It's an annual license.
Oh, okay. Great. That's awesome. Yeah, because I know after a while, those little monthly ones, man, they add up sometimes. So it's nice to be able to jump in here and do what you got to do.
And we're gonna offer a discount code at the end of the show.
No, I just posted it. I just posted it in the comments. So anyone watching right now during the show can get 25% off of the premium version.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I didn't even know that.
Right. To the end of the show only, though. It's limited time.
Oh, so I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not even going to say it here on YouTube. So if nobody even knows about it, you got to be here live. So if you're if you're watching live, tell other people to come live and check it out on the event page. Just go to gplusspotlight.com/watch-live. Well, today at least. That'll take you to this event page. Next week it won't. But yeah, there we go.
Let me. I guess we could talk about some of the new features for anyone that wants to know. A couple of things that are new is the ability to find people that engage with your latest posts. So you can find on your latest up to 40 posts. Say, okay, show me everybody who plussed, everybody who commented, everybody who reshared, and you can add them to your circles. You can do it by specific posts. So, say for example, if you're following Martin Shervington and you want to add all the people who engaged on all of his circle management posts or Google Plus posts, but not the cat posts or the surfing posts. So what you do is you take all those URLs and just plug them right into Circloscope, and you can get all the people who plus commented or reshared, specific posts like that. One of the things that the HOA hosts are excited about is the ability to find and circle everybody who is engaging on your events or who said yes to your events. You can also find everyone who said no to your events in case you want to send them, a email or private message and say, hey, would you like to be removed, or stuff like that. So there's some event management, and what we could do is we could do a circle today of everyone who said yes to this event, and they'll show you how easy that is.
Yeah, in fact, I'd love to do that live a little bit later. So, again, get people in here, comment, say yes. For those of you who are watching live, I think it'll be pretty awesome. And we'll just do it. We'll use that as a demo so everybody can see how that works. And then you can go and do it yourself, which is even
And
cool.
it's not just your own events. If people are hosting events that are similar to yours, you might want to go circle the people that are engaging on their events and get to know them and send them an invite to your events. So if they're interested in certain topics, that's a great way to find people. You can filter. One of the things about Circle Cleanup right now is you don't know who's following you back or not unless you actually go to their profile or hover over their hover card. So you're going to be able to find everybody who's not following you back, which I think Dustin can attest that he was able to clean out about 2,000 people out of your circles, Dustin?
It was close to it was about 1,800 people, and most of them were inactive or haven't posted in a month. I kind of trimmed it up to, if you're not active in the last 30 days, then I don't really have a reason following you. But I kept certain family members who I'm still, holding out for. They're going to join today. That was extremely helpful.
So yeah, you can go clean out people who aren't active, who aren't following. There's a blue head filter, so if they don't have a profile picture, you can, clean them out. One of the things that we thought was important, especially if you're, how hard it is if you're, say, on Twitter, if those follow things. When you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of people at a time, you can accidentally unfollow people or uncircle people you don't want to. So we did build in a whitelist functionality, so you can take a whole circle of, like Dustin said, your family, or I have a circle of influencers that many aren't following me, but I still want to keep them. And I just added them to my whitelist, and that way, I won't accidentally clean them out when I'm doing a cleanup. So that's one of the new features. We also have a blacklist as a new feature, and the blacklist is so that you don't once you've decided to uncircle someone, you can add them to your blacklist, uncircle them, and then you won't accidentally circle them again using Circloscope. So you've already decided not to have them in your circles. You can add them to the blacklist, uncircle them, and then when you are finding engagers, it'll filter it against that before it'll so you don't add them again.
That's very helpful.
Yes. One of the there's a queries saved queries feature. Now a lot of things that you could do they're very easy. It's one click to find all your inactives, or one click to find all the people not following you. It's like 2 clicks to do it on a circle level basis. But you can also add some filters. You can say, okay, anyone with who's not following me, or who's inactive, things like that, or people who have a certain follower number, people who just different filters, people who reshared, for example, and you could save these queries. They're like recipes that you can then just run in one click instead of having to go set them up again. And I know, Dustin, you're using it for community management. Can you tell us how you're using it for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I manage several brands on Google Plus and help in that. And without disclosing too many of my secret magic, I kind of use circles as sort of a funnel. And I have one funnel which is these are prospective members or prospective leads, and I have a circle for that, and then I have another circle of people that I've actually connected with. So they've gone from cold lead to maybe a warm lead, and then they transfer circles, and then if they become a sale or a conversion of any kind, I put them in the conversion circle, and so I kind of have I'm monitoring the relationship of the user, and Circloscope helps with that, because when you're moving people from one circle to another, you want to make sure they're not crossing. You want to make sure that you don't have them in like multiple circles. So that helps me to make sure that they're in the proper circles and not in more than one circle.
Right, so Dustin set up a query that you can do on one click, that if they're in one circle, you remove them from the other circle. Is that right?
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I have something similar that I did with the old version for this show, and I've been waiting for this to come out just so that I can make it a little easier on myself, because the saved thing is just like so awesome. So essentially what we do with our show, part of our process is to take the people who are new to every show, and that could be through mostly it's through engagement, comments, and like comments, yeses, and then reshares. So the people who +1 our event, but it's the people who are actively engaging in some way, shape, or form. So what we'll do is that's easy enough, right? That in Circloscope, it's really super easy. You just go grab the event. In fact, you guys have a recipe for that now. Before it was a little more Mickey Mouse. Now it's just, it literally says, I'm going to read it here from under the event section, going to event, maybe going to event, not going to event. I mean, it's like laid out right there for you, which is fantastic. Yeah. And even to the extent that if you hover over, you know what, I want to show this to you guys because it's even easier to see.
It's awesome. This is probably my favorite feature.
I love the tooltips too, because you know what, this is tricky stuff, and sometimes contextually, a lot of times when you have tools that help you with managing things, you need to understand the context of it, and that's a real hard thing for people to understand. Like, why the hell do I need this particular menu item, right?
Yep.
So if we go, I'm going to scroll down here to events, and if I hover over posted to event, I get a little tip that says those who have posted to the event, and those who have posted to an event but I have not circled yet. So that gives me the context of, oh, these are the people who are new to my event. Actually, you've now saved me a ton of time because I just realized that we have this now. Now I don't have to run a cross check against the people already in my invite list. So I could, right? I mean, I could literally click on this, and then go to my event, throw my event URL in there, and it's going to give me the list of new faces who I can then add to a special circle and send them a private message as a group and say, hey, would you guys like to come to our, would you like to be invited to future events? Because I prefer you opt in, versus just blindly sending you invites and maybe having you mute me, because that would stink. But that's a really fantastic way to do it.
Should we give it a try now? I went ahead and put the link to this event in the group chat. So if you want to grab that link and go ahead and let's create a circle.
Sure, let's do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to go to events, posted to event not in my circles. Right, so I get a pop-up. I'm going to paste, this is the event URL. And it's the event URL because inside it says /events. And so now we've got, I guess I don't have me circled. Okay.
Or Dustin.
I have Dustin circled. 3 of them. But either way.
I'm so offended.
I'm sorry. So I got 12 new faces here, according to this. And now I can go ahead and select all. And now I can do something with them, which is cool. We can load activity info, profile info. Oh, let me keep hovering them over. I can add them to a circle, or I can remove them. Or, like Christine was saying before, we can blacklist them. The other thing I can do is export to a spreadsheet. The benefit to doing that, I think, would be to store this kind of stuff for later. Sometimes that'd be pretty helpful. But another thing too, like if you're going to add, for example, if I want to add everybody to a circle, which was what we're going to do here, if I click in here, I get my existing circle. So we'll put you guys under like next week invite, or I can make a new circle name, which I won't. So I hit OK. It gives me a nice little prompt, which is great. None of them are blacklisted. You guys checked that out already. This is awesome. I like how there's a lot of plain English here. So kudos to that. And then I hit OK. And then 12 were added to my next week invite circle. Awesome.
That's cool. I like how you manage that.
And now the funny thing is, posted to event not in my circles, right? That's my query. There's nobody here because now I have circled all those people, so they all disappeared, right, from our screen. And so all that happened in real time.
Let's make a circle of maybe everyone who has commented so far, or let's see what.
Okay. Sure. Let's add those guys too. All right. Now we're going to go back to where you guide me here, Christine.
Same thing. Events. So posted to an event, and maybe do all of them. So let's see everyone who's posted.
Okay.
Whether they're in your circles or not.
All right.
All right. So far we've got 24 people that have posted.
Awesome. Most of these guys I have here. Great. We have a new face. Now I noticed something too. Like if you wanted to get resharers, I found a little trick. But let's let me show you the trick. Where is that? I'll go back. Oh, here you go. So the trick is to go to a share of your event, and under here where it says originally shared, grab that link. Not the event link, because the event link, like we said, is a little different. But if you go and you get the link, we call that in the HOA world, we call that a bird dog to get the for like one of these posts, like a reshare, in order to get the comment tracker app working. But anyway, if I grab that, that actually becomes a URL. And so where is it? Under engagers, I can say engagers of specified posts. I just figured this out today. Now let's explain deep search and extended search. What are those?
So on deep search, I think I have this now, Christine. When you put in the post, you can just extract just the pluses, shares, and comments on your own post. Or if you select deep search, it will go through the shares of your post plus the comments and pluses on those. But if you select extended search, it will go even further and do the shares of the shares. It'll essentially try to get everything.
Oh, like Ripple data.
Yep.
So that's what we want, yeah. So we're going to hit on that. It may take several minutes, a nice little pop-up.
Now just for me, can you say that one more time?
Of course you call me out on this because we're barely understanding this ourselves. So I think what was explained to me is when you just put in the post and you don't have those checked, it's just going to get your immediate data. So it's going to get your pluses, your comments, and your shares from your post. If you do deep search, it's then going to get the shares of those shares plus all the posts, the shares of your shares plus all the posts and comments. But then if you do extended search, it's going to just keep going as far as it can through the shares of other people. That's, that if it's still your post, you know what I'm saying? Essentially every version of your post that exists.
So would you need both of them checked, or would you only need, I mean, if you wanted to do all of them, would you just need the extended one checked, or do you actually need to check both of them?
I'm not sure, to be honest. But that's why it's set by default.
It kind of sounds to me like let's say your part, let's say that URL has been shared, that web address or whatever has been shared 50 times, and you're responsible for 12 of them. So it sounds like deep search probably gets you. So if you don't check any of them, it's just your post, right? Just
right.
Your share of it just gives the comments and engagers, just as if nothing had ever happened to it. And then it sounds from what you're describing that deep search is, let me take the 12 of my own shares and grab those guys. Right. And then the extended is, let's get all 50 of the shares for that URL involved, and let's pull all those people in.
Right.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right. If I'm wrong, then I don't know. I think that sounds like a very plausible description. Maybe you guys should change it up.
You're very close. That's all we can say for certain.
Cool. All right. So we have for our event now. Look, now we have 189 people who've interacted with the event, and you can see whether it's been plussing. I want to go down towards the end, and we have a couple other. Let me go back a little bit more. So we have pluses and reshares.
And at this point, if you were to hit the filters button,
yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Say for example, you've got so many shares, and there is a daily limit to how many people you can add. Maybe you only want to add your resharers, so you would click that box that check next to resharers, and then if you apply, it's only going to show you the people who've reshared your post, and that's another way to narrow down.
So we have 39 people have reshared this post.
And then if you were to further do the filters, which obviously there's only a few results, you wouldn't necessarily need a filter at this point, but if you had a lot of results, by clicking on the blue head box twice, one means yes and X means no, so if you apply, that's going to get rid of that one blue head that you saw in there. So that you're just that's how you would filter your results until you get the results, and then you can go ahead and add the people.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize what that was for. So if you click on it and it displays a check mark, that means yes. So if a blue
check
head
is
yes.
include and include or yes, and X is exclude or no, and just leaving it empty. Because if you said yes, then the query is, and they must be a blue head, for example.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that.
And X means no blue head, and leaving it empty will bring up everyone.
So I want to save this because this is part of my process, right? Every week I want to go through my event, and I want to pull up all the people who've shared it or interacted with it, and I want to do something with them. So I want to save this query now as we're going to call it my and then I can put a description in there.
Yes, and
then there we go. And now I can do it again.
You can go ahead and cancel this, but if you then go to your click that, and under saved, you would click yes, and then you would put in your current week's share, the URL. And it will bring everybody up. It will filter out, the blue heads, and it will only show your sharers because that's what we have set.
Wow, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. So cool. So let's see what other what other types of things can we talk about? Because first off, I do want to back up real quick because just so everybody understands, this is a Chrome extension, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So those of you who are using Firefox or Internet Explorer for some strange ass reason, you can't have Circloscope. You got to download Chrome. So go to google.com/Chrome and download it. It's free and it's fast and it works great with Google+. And then you can get the Circloscope Chrome extension from circloscope.com. It's or the extension store.
It's all, yeah, you can search the Chrome store for Circloscope or get it off our website.
Go to circloscope.com/free. We'll take them right there.
Oh, that's cool. And also, those of us who are, I know I did mine earlier. Those of us who've downloaded it or installed it or whatever, definitely leave reviews because it helps. And I know that there's a lot of help. The reviews help a lot of people make decisions and also help point out, what types of things you might find it best used for. So that
would be a great time for reviews. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yes,
yeah,
and we're working on we're doing tutorials. They're on our Circloscope YouTube channel. We do have a knowledge base that we're starting, which you'll be able to search and get questions answered. You can find that from our website. And I know that a lot of people are currently making video tutorials to help people with some of these advanced queries.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and I think too, anybody who's coming up with good use cases, because again, as I said before, you have this, this fantastic tool, and like Nodex and some of the other ones you kind of need a reason, and even the Steady Demand Pro tool, like you need a reason to go in and use it, otherwise it becomes useless, right? And so having, and that goes back to strategy. So having that strategy in place, having that use case is going to be really helpful. So, to the entire community watching, if you have a good use case for why you would need to do circle management in bulk, and there's plenty of them, if you write it up on a blog post or if you do a short screen share, a YouTube video, and I know you guys are, I know this is very much a community effort for you guys. Hey,
and I have a question. Do you guys, I should know, I know that there's a beta tester community for Circloscope. Is there an actual Circloscope community, say, where people can share their recipes or?
Yes, there is. Yep, and you should be able to search it right on Google. It's also, I think we have a link from our website. We have a link from our website? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, in the support section.
It'd be great if you could just pop it in the event comments right there.
Definitely. Nice. And yeah, we had 160 beta testers, and they were fabulous and really helped us, work out all the bugs. And I mean, I'm sure there's still a few, but we'll get them worked out over the next few weeks. But definitely very helpful.
So I'm noticing we have a question from Marilyn Moore in the event comment, or in the event. If you have the old version, are you automatically upgraded, or do you need to sign up again?
You will be automatically. Yes. Now, it may disappear from your toolbar. In that case, you might need to go re-enable it because it is requiring some permissions. And if you do have any problems, if you've already paid for it and it's you're having any problems, you should be able to uninstall it and reinstall it, and you should be automatically upgraded.
That's great to hear, because I know that there's a lot of people who are sort of, especially you pay for something, you want to make sure that you can get access to it again through the upgraded version.
And we have a Zendesk help desk now as well that we're and we'll put that link in to help support.
So you mentioned use cases, Stefan. Do you want to show one more thing that I think would be a good use case for pretty much everybody?
Sure.
So you can go to engagers of your profile. So it'll bring in the engagers of all of your, well, not all of your posts, but up to 40 of your most recent posts.
Yeah, this is great. So where is that? Under engagers of my last X posts.
Right.
Yep.
And then we have another nice little ninja idea for you guys right after this.
All right.
All right. So let's pick between 1 and 40. We'll go with 10. That'll get me through the weekend.
Yeah. So what this does is pulls in all the people on your last 10 posts that have plushed your posts, shared your posts, or commented on your posts. And these are the best type of people to circle for yourself and start engaging with.
Right. Awesome. And I picked the people who are also in my circles. I'm still on GPLUSSPOTLIGHT, by the way, not my own. But so I have people who are in my circles and not in my circles. But I could obviously I could change it. Oh, you know what? The other
You
thing
can
too.
filter it.
We could what does most duplicated and least duplicated mean, by the way?
Means how many times they're in your circles. So if you have someone in 8 circles, for example, as opposed to 1. There was also a question from Carrie Ann Foster who wanted to know a little bit about the relevant. We're sorting by relevance. If you want to quickly go to, so relevant, and it looks like it was backwards. But relevance is a score that Google assigns. Basically, your most relevant people are the people you engage with the most, or that you have them in a notification circle. You might have them in your contact list, etc. So that's what relevance means.
Cool. And is this in fact backwards, or are we just reading it wrong?
There might be a little bug if they're not already in your circles. So.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to look into that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
But if you go on your dashboard, and you'll see the relevance chart.
Oh, yeah, let's click on it. If you click on the logo, by the way, everybody, you go back to the home page here.
So if you moused over those or clicked on one of those buttons or circles.
We'll click on Bill Ashton. Because
Well, this is going to show you those people that are in that range of your most relevant for your
that's
page.
Neat. Very cool. Which I guess could be useful if you wanted to take a look at, for example, this tranche down here, this tier. We could say, okay, here are the people that are in this area. Is there anybody I want to either filter down a little farther on, or pick up, maybe just add them to a different circle, or just, I guess, click over to their profile, right?
Yep.
I'm going to click on Ronnie here. Yeah, so if you click on Ronnie Binzer, you end up, the name, you end up over at his profile, so you can go check them out. I'm definitely not going to load up his animated GIF cover photo for fear of crashing my browser.
So relevance is a score that's assigned by Google. It's a score between, I believe, 0 and 1,000, and we're just using their score. We don't know exactly how they calculate it.
Cool. So let's hop over to that other idea. And so one way that you can find people to add to your circles is to go on other people's posts or profiles. So I should have left up Ronnie, but we're going to pick somebody from our audience here. So we'll pick Marilyn, because she's one of my moderators on our Google Plus for Small Business community, and she's a regular attendee here, and I appreciate it big time, all the support, Marilyn. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go grab your URL, right? Now let's say I want to find, for the G Plus Spotlight page, let's say that Marilyn is very relevant to me, and I want to go and find the people that are relevant to her, because then those would be relevant to me, and I can go maybe add them to a circle that allows me to go check them out and maybe build a deeper relationship. So this is kind of like under here, engagers of last posts. It's the same kind of context, same kind of concept. Instead of my last 10 posts or whatever, we're going to go to a different part, and we're going to go check out that other person's profile. Now, where do I do that?
Well, actually, do you want to do their profile or their last post to find all the sharers?
I guess either would be good, right?
Yeah. So engagers of their last 10 posts, for example. And then you put in their profile ID and a number between 1 and 40, and you can quickly find all of their engagers. The other one is going to find all the people that they're visibly showing in their circles, or all the people that are following them, not necessarily their engagers. But this is for their engagers.
That didn't seem to work out. Maybe
It might still be loading.
No, the little bar is done. I might have goofed something up. Do you know, this could be, wait, where were we? Let's try this.
Try it again.
I'm going to take the...
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's messing it up.
I'm going to take that out. Most of you aren't going to worry about that, but, whoops.
Need a number.
There we go. Let's try this out. Come on. There we go.
There we go.
I love uncovering bugs on live shows. Isn't that fun?
As long as we find them, it's cool.
These are the 106 people that have engaged on Marilyn's last 10 posts, and sorted by relevance. Now, is it relevance to her or relevance to me?
Well, like I said, I think I'm not sure about the relevance. We're going to need to check that because she doesn't have them circled, or you don't have them circled, so it might not be able to tell.
Okay.
We'll have to look into that.
If I flip it, these are people that I obviously know.
Right.
But it gives me an opportunity. Again, it gives me an opportunity to go in and interact with, check some of these guys out, interact with them, and if I wanted to, I think I can. Not that way. Oh, come on. Stop.
Yeah, do a select.
By the way, you can add somebody to a circle right from there.
Yep.
By clicking on plus, so you don't have to go through that whole action business if it's just one person, which is kind of nice.
And now the free version, yeah, that's you do need to add one or remove one by one. So that's what that plus or minus. You're going to do it one by one.
Oh,
so you can bring in lots of people, but then you do need to add them one by one.
Can I? And here, if I'm inside it and I go like that,
there you go.
Select multiple people, which is great. So that's very, very helpful.
I did not know that.
Now you do.
Awesome.
Tips and tricks.
So how do I go back to that other idea that we talked about? Let's kind of make this our last tip for everybody, because I'm sure we could talk about this for eons and come up with lots of ways to use Circlescope. If I just wanted to get the people that Marilyn is following, I like the idea, obviously, of the last certain number of posts. That's probably more relevant. But let's just say the people that she's following. How do I do that?
Okay, so that would be under the profiles.
Okay.
And then profiles, circles.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the tooltip: visible parts of other people's circles.
Because yes, you don't necessarily need to show everybody you're following, but so it'll be the visible parts.
And I'm going to take out the business ID. And we're going to load her up. Cool. So Marilyn's got a couple thousand people in her circles. Who knows? She may go clean it up after this. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping everybody will clean their circles so we can, go follow all their most relevant people. Right?
Yeah. So but it is a great way to go, and it's a great way to go find other people. If you make a great connection with somebody and you realize you have a lot in common, it's a really simple way to go and cherry pick or pick off in bulk some of the people that are relevant to that person, and you can do that with people who are influential, or just other peers or people in communities that you've met. It's a great opportunity there again to find. It's part of the reason you add somebody to a circle is you want to follow what they have to say. So this is one way to do that.
Lee Rickler has a question. He wants to know if you can add select all from the drop down, and yes, you can add select all. You can also do a select a certain number. So say if because you saw the results there were 2,000. If you know that your page limits, you can only add each day maybe 200 people. You can do a select 200. Or you can use the filters to filter down more by activity.
Awesome. So, all right, cool. Well, hey, I want to give everybody a nice. Oh, you guys had a code for us, right?
Yeah, it's in the comments. Yeah,
it's in the comments. How long do we want to leave that up?
I'll leave it up for a few minutes after the show's over. Hopefully, people have already used it. Can
I do one thank you to Peter Trapazzo? He is our newest Circloscope Premium customer. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome, Peter. See, this is yet again this show. We do business on this show.
Nice.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, hey, we could keep talking. We've gone a little over our normal time. I hope this has been helpful for everybody. So thanks for coming to watch the first look at the new and improved Circloscope. And thank you again to Christine, Craig, Dustin. You guys were fantastic. I hope we gave a lot of great information for everybody. Feel free to tell more people about this, about the show, even after the fact, G+Spotlight, or use the hashtag G+Spotlight. Hey, if you want to be invited to future events, you can let me know in the comments, and then I can cherry pick you off of using what we did earlier in Circloscope. That would be really awesome. Then I don't have to think about it.
And thank you for making your book free this week in our honor. We very much appreciate it.
That was really cool.
Oh, it was my pleasure. and I'm really excited about that. It hit a couple of recommendation engines too, because that thing's been downloaded a bunch of times.
And someone suggested that someone create a book, Circloscope for Dummies, so maybe you should consider doing one.
Well, might not be free, but maybe.
I'm sure people. I think they said they'd be willing to pay for it.
Cool. All right. Well, you know what? I mean, even beyond that, I think the help community. I know you guys. I mean, I'm part of it. Dustin's part of it. You have a phenomenal community around here that wants to do nothing but support Circloscope and help it grow. So, those of you who are looking for a little bit more advice, there, kind of like Ronnie Bincer's Hangout Mastery Group. There's a lot of people who are around that can help. And I think that's just going to grow and grow, and as more content comes out along the way, just seek out anybody who's pretty experienced with this, and take a look at what they're doing. And for those of you in our boat, right, the experienced ones, let's do our best to help this tool really take off, and support it like we've supported all the other great tools on Google+. And I think with that, we're going to wrap it up, and definitely come visit next week, because we have a really unique show. The guys from Unbounce are going to come talk to us about an event that they did to criticize, in a really fun way, landing pages, because that's what they do. They do landing pages. And it's going to be a really interesting take on how they used Google Hangouts and some live events to do live critiques, and have, like, it was called page fights, which is going to be really fun. We're going to talk to the team over there about how they did it, and what worked, what didn't work, but they're going to do it again, so something worked, and we're going to find out about that, because it was really cool for lead gen, and a great story. So join us next week for Google Plus Business Spotlight, and until next time, we'll see you guys around.
Thanks, Stefan.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Much appreciated.